Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Diamond Dragon Lady. My name is Ariel, and we're just going to look at the April 2024 astrology wheel. It is coming upon the month of April, and we're going to take a peek at what is going on in the planets, in the movements of the month ahead. For those of you who have been with me before, I am both an astrologer and a tarot reader, so hope you will enjoy one or two of the things that I do here. If you have not yet done so, please do hit that subscribe and like button. It always helps my channel out. So guys, let's go ahead and start. I am on East Coast time, so I have run this chart for the East Coast Eastern Standard Time starting at 5:57 a.m., which gives us an Aries rising for that month. So if you're interested in following along with your own chart at home, there are plenty of free astrology programs that you can, Google search and pull that up if you want to see this for yourself, on your own screen. So we're just going to see what's going on. So as we start the month of April, of course, we are in Aries season. We're starting with the sun at 12 degrees of Aries, almost halfway through the sign. We also do have Mercury in Aries, which is very important to note because on April 1st, a little bit later in that day, we do have a Mercury retrograde starting. A lot of people have made some comments and jokes about how funny that is that we are starting out April Fool's Day with a Mercury retrograde. But the big reason that this is important to me is because Mercury in Aries is very fiery. It's very feisty. Aries tends to be very impulsive, spontaneous, aggressive. It's ruled by Mars. And so when Mercury, our communication planet, is in that sign, we're going to be experiencing a lot of people saying things in the heat of the moment, possibly losing their temper. So it's kind of like there's that really like a deep need to think before you speak, think before you act, because the energy of, just letting things fly could be really, really intense and potentially damaging. The other thing that I would say, on the other side of that, which is more positive, is that if you have been holding something in for a long time and you really need to get it off your chest, if you need to be more direct in your approach, bring more healthy self-love into a situation, this is going to help you quite a lot because Mercury in Aries is not going to stand by and just let people run all over it. It will definitely speak its truth. It will come from a place of what's important to their self-identity, to who they are truly inside. And so it really does bring us back into touch with thinking about, what do I need? What do I get out of a situation? How am I benefiting from something? Because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it does put itself at the front of the line most of the time, guys. So, the two ways that you can read that as an astrologer is to say, Aries can be very, partially you could say, well, yeah, they can be selfish. They could be self-motivated. But I would also say they also know how to take care of themselves, and they know when they're not being treated right, and they know how to step away from situations that are not beneficial to them. So there is a lot of healthy self-worth and self-love lessons that come with the sign of Aries. A big reason this is important too is because Mercury is going to be in Aries for quite a while due to the retrograde. Mercury usually only stays in a sign about 3 to 3.5 weeks, but because of this retrograde, it's going to be there all the way until May 16th. That is a really long time for Mercury to be in a sign. So I would say, tempers can flare, things can come up in the heat of the moment, and it's really up to you to kind of decide, was that just said out of anger or frustration? Or was that something that really showed you some truth about yourself or some truth about someone else, and act accordingly to it? This is certainly not a time when people will be holding back their communication. Friday the 5th, that is going to be our Venus sign moving from the sign of Pisces, which is very sweet, compassionate. Venus is said to be at its exaltation in the sign of Pisces because it is so loving, it's so giving, right? But that's all going to shift up a bit. This is, to me, we're getting into a month of a lot of self-love. caring for your own identity, and preserving yourself. So this is actually very positive, especially if you feel like people have been walking over you for a while, or if you haven't been standing up for yourself enough in a relationship or a communication situation. As you can see, we go into the beginning of April. You know, that first couple days is like supercharged with a lot of Pisces. We have Mars, Saturn, Venus, and Neptune all grouped up in the sign of Pisces. So once it starts to shift into Aries, it becomes much less soft, much less gentle. We're not going to be, you know, as emotionally giving. We're going to be more emotionally demanding, and we will be demanding that we are treated well and that we are in relationships that are honest and genuine to who we are, because Aries is all about the identity. You know, it's like, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my identity? That is the most important thing to the life journey of any Aries. So when Venus moves into Aries, it's a lot more fiery. It definitely kind of wakes up out of that more gentle, you know, sort of vibe. And it definitely asks, you know, hey, I've been giving you a whole lot here with Venus and Pisces. Now, when am I receiving something back? Where's the reciprocity, right? And it's not that we, you know, necessarily go into relationships thinking that way, but there is an important thing about reciprocity when it comes to relationships, for sure. And Venus and Aries will definitely make us pay attention to that. Venus will be in Aries until Monday the 29th, and then it will shift into the sign of Taurus. And so it will be in Taurus for most of the month of May. That is a very, very nice place for Venus, because Venus is naturally the ruler of Taurus. So, you know, this month ahead for April, absolutely get clear with yourself about what you are experiencing when it comes to love and relationships and in communication, because Venus and Mercury will both be in that sign of Aries. There may be things in the past that you let slide, things in the past that you kind of laughed off or shrugged off, but now you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't cool, or that wasn't okay with me. And a big thing about that too is, you know, when we have a Mercury retrograde, our thoughts go in reverse, right? We review things. All the rewords apply with the Mercury retrograde. We're reviewing, we're rethinking, we're revisiting, we're revising things, we're, you know, readjusting, rescheduling, all that kind of stuff. So when it's traveling along with Venus, I'm really seeing that as kind of, you know, going back and looking at things, you know, from a relationship and just sort of adding it all up and saying, is this working for me? Is this really giving me the affirmation and the self-love? Can I be myself in this relationship, or am I having to hold something in all the time? That's very important, because Aries does not like to hold things in. They like to be able to speak their truth, be themselves, and that energy will be applying to all of us, whether you're an Aries or not. But if you are an Aries, you absolutely will feel this much stronger. But yeah, this is definitely a month where we're really moving away from always doing the one, you know, doing the giving, and always being the one that, you know, gives in, and always the one that acquiesces, because that's Pisces, right? And we're moving towards, you know, saying, well, what about me? What, am I happy? Am I truly able to be myself and let my light shine? And Aries is all about letting some light shine, because it is the first fire sign of the cycle. It shines very, very brightly, and it's meant to. Next up, on Monday the 8th, we are having a new moon in Aries. So yet again, here we go with more energy. The moon will move from Capricorn at the very start of April, and on the 8th, it will be hitting that time of Aries. So that's going to be our new moon, and also the solar eclipse will be happening on that Monday the 8th. So check your local times to see what time that solar eclipse is happening. If it's happening in the daytime, obviously you will be aware of it when the sun gets darker. But the solar eclipses are always big, powerful energies. We are following that up. It's kind of a bookend to the lunar eclipse in Libra that we've just experienced on March the 25th. And so whereas the lunar eclipse made us look at our relationship dynamics and what might need to be released or changed around those, Then comes that solar eclipse in Aries. And Aries energy, like I said, is all about yourself. Aries, Libra are on that polarity. So, Aries is all about yourself, your self-identity, and how you relate to yourself. And then the Libra energy, of course, is how you relate to other people. It is partnerships, relationship dynamics, work associations, all kinds of legal contracts and agreements. So these are times where we're very intensely looking. Here's Libra on the descendant, here's Aries over here. And we're really doing some balancing work where we're looking at our relationship to ourselves versus relationships to other people. It's very intense, it's very dynamic. Solar eclipses tend to bring in what you want to attract or new energies, whereas the lunar eclipses are like the breath out. They're the things that we're releasing. So solar eclipse in Aries is absolutely asking you, what is it that you want yourself to be? What is your legacy on earth? Who are you? What is your, destiny kind of, what is the thing that you really, really want to fulfill as a person, as a spirit on the planet while you are here? And so it is about healthy self-love. I would say with Aries energy, it's best to let go of anything that, is triggering to the ego, right? Letting go of arrogance or, unhealthy pride, and instead embracing true healthy self-worth, healthy self-love, preservation, healthy boundaries are a big part of this. Absolutely. So all of that is coming into play with the solar eclipse on Monday the 8th. Friday the 19th, that is when the sun will be moving into the sign of Taurus. It comes out of that very fiery place where it's been with Aries, and it moves into that nice, steady, earthy energy. And so the time of, Taurus on Earth is really when it's time to plant, to ground and center ourselves. It's time to think about things that we want to see expand and grow over time. So I would say, always during the time of Taurus, it's important to think about, to focus your thoughts on what it is you really want to see happen. Absolutely take, slow but steady action towards your goals and dreams, because things that are, planted during Taurus season tend to grow really well over time. Tuesday the 23rd, that's when we're coming up to our full moon, and it will be over here in the intense deep sign of Scorpio. Yes, yes. So this is going to be a very deep reaching full moon. The full moon in Scorpio always goes deep. It always goes below the surface. A lot of intense emotions can come up around a Scorpio full moon. Things that, maybe you had been trying to hide, or maybe things other people are trying to hide. They can't hide them anymore. It's absolutely like the secrets are out. Intuition is very deep. This is a wonderful time to do any kind of counseling or psychological work, because you will be thinking on that deeper level. Monday the 29th, like I said, Venus moves into Taurus as well. And on Tuesday the 30th, the last day of April, we have Mars coming out of sleepy Pisces and moving into the sign of Aries. I do love Mars moving into Aries because that is its natural place to be. So Mars is technically very happy and very dynamic in the sign of Aries. Absolutely look for the energy to come up. If you are an Aries, just keep in mind this month, Mars is in the sign of Pisces. That is a more dreamy, like I said, it's a little sleepy, it's romantic, it's creative, has a very big imagination, isn't always the most motivated. So sometimes it can be a little hard to get motivated with Mars and Pisces. But I will say that if you are creative, artistic, musical, anything like that, or if you practice any kind of mystical studies, just like what I'm doing with tarot or astrology, palmistry, things like that, this is a beautiful month for that, because you can really go deep into your spiritual practice and understanding. Jupiter is still traveling along in Taurus this month, and it is conjunct Uranus. So this brings big, positive, unexpected blessings, changes. It can be upsetting sometimes because Uranus, of course, it can be that Aquarian energy. It's like those lightning bolts of illumination. But with its energy going on in Jupiter, which is very much about expansion, good fortune, I would say any big changes that happen are actually for the best. They are, even if they seem a little chaotic, a little unexpected, a little bit like, oh no, what do I do with this? Look at it as more of a journey, more of an adventure, and less as problematic or something that's just, an irritating challenge, because this can really grow us in a big, amazing way. People that are entrepreneurs, people that are in business for themselves may really notice that during this time of Jupiter in conjunction to Uranus will really flourish during that, because it does favor people who do their own thing. Aquarian energy, Uranus energy is very rebellious, marches to the beat of its own drum. It's very much its authentic self. And Taurus energy is about our resources, y'all. It's about our money. It's about our, way we bring in prosperity. And so if you've been bringing your prosperity in a way that's very unique or kind of different, you do stand to flourish and really expand during this time. So there is our month in a nutshell, guys. I think it's a very positive one on the whole. This is absolutely a month of self-love. It is all about that Aries energy, all about that Mercury retrograde in Aries. It's time to revisit who you truly are. Have you lost pieces of your identity or yourself along your life's journey? Are some of them things that you would like to embrace or revive? This is the perfect month to do just that. So y'all, I look forward to what April brings to us, and I hope that I will see you soon in your tarot readings that I will be posting right after this. Have an amazing April, and I will talk to you soon.